So I'm out here in the shop with the Fox body. Got it up on the lift. Getting ready to pull the transmission out of it. Car had a 5-speed in it, and last spring I pulled all that out and sold it and bought this C4 and put in it. It's a pretty nice C4. It's got a reverse manual valve body and trans brake. Got an aftermarket input shaft and billet servos, and when I bought it I was told it had pretty much everything done inside that you can do to a C4. He didn't have paperwork on it, so basically for me I always assume it's a stock rebuild and whatever ends up being in there is a bonus. I got it in the car. I have no reason to believe that's not true. The transmission does great. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. However, I like a 5-speed a lot better. So when I ended up pulling the 5-speed out, I kept the clutch pedal in it, and there was a reason for that. I was afraid that I would end up wanting to go back to a 5-speed. So getting ready to pull it out, and this week I'm supposed to meet a guy to trade it for a complete 5-speed swap. It's a T5Z. It's supposed to only have a couple thousand miles on it. It's supposed to be a good one. We'll find out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out, and then hopefully this week I'll meet him, do the trade, and then we'll be putting the 5-speed in the car and get back to shifting some gears. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, we're under here. The lighting's not great up here under the car, but we're getting ready to drain the fluid out and get ready to start taking everything else apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plug, let it drain while I'm taking the exhaust off of it. And we shouldn't be too long, really. I'll have to, with the long tubes, I do have to, there we go. Yeah. So with the long tube headers on it, they do kind of get in the way of the bell housing when you're pulling it out. So what I typically do is I just loosen the header bolts up top. Don't have to take them all the way out, but just loosen them up. And then when I go to pull it back, they'll give a little bit and it'll come out of there. That's how I put it in. So, I mean, in theory, it should come back out that way. My luck, who knows? But we'll see. So I got the fluid draining, and now I'm going to go ahead and start unbolting the exhaust. There's not really much of anything in this car. It's been together very long. Especially with the transmission. Every time I get to the point to where I get it running and driving and think I'm happy and life's good and I can move on to the next thing, I change my mind and just keep doing the transmissions over and over. So one of these days I'll figure out what I want and do that and just leave it alone, and hopefully this time is it. Like I said, the C4 is great. It does good in it. It's nice, smooth, it shifts nice. Goes down the road all right. No issues with it at all. I was going to get a different converter for it. I was going to have a converter built for it. I think that would have helped the car out a lot. And it probably would have made it a little more fun with the automatic. I've always had 5-speed cars. I always like them. And it's just kind of what I'm used to, and it's hard to walk away from that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting older. Got knees and hips that aren't in the best of shape, and that was part of the reason I decided to go to the C4. And the other thing is just, easier on driveline parts and stuff. So I thought I was making an adult decision to keep from breaking things, but I don't know. I just probably should have just left it in here, but I think the car was definitely, I had a T5 in it already, so I already know what it was like with the 5-speed. And I know what it was like with the automatic. you know, the biggest thing is just personal preference, and I prefer the 5-speed. The one I'm getting, it's a T5Z, it's a Z-Spec. I mean, I don't know, it'd probably handle 5 more horsepower, I don't know. I don't think there's a huge difference in them and what the power is they'll take. I like the 295 first gear with running, I mean, I've got 410s in the car right now. I really would kind of like to maybe run 430s, maybe a 456, I don't know, with a 26-inch tall tire, probably 430s. 456 would probably be a little more, it'd probably run out of motor at the end of the track, but it depends. I mean, a lot of the tracks around here, they're quarter-mile tracks. I guess it depends on what, you know, what kind of racing I might do. I mean, if it was 8th mile, I would definitely run 456s in it, so we'll see. So I'm gonna quit talking and continue taking things loose. I said I was gonna take the exhaust loose while that was draining, and I just stood here and watched fluid drain. It's pretty exciting. So it's the next morning. Yesterday I was able to get the transmission out and the shifter, transmission cooler, and things like that. I've got a couple more things to take out of the car and a mess to clean up, and then I'm gonna get everything packaged up so that way next week we can meet up and do the trade. And in the next video we'll be putting the 5-speed back in the car again, and then we'll kind of see where we go from there. I got a couple other things I'm gonna do to the car while it's up on the lift. Not exactly sure what all I'm gonna do, but I got several things I would like to do, so we'll see where that goes. Here's the car. We'll move on up here. Kind of got everything in the way, but you can see the lighting's not good. Let me see if I can get a little bit of light on this thing. But so it's an 8.8 rear end. I got a pinion seal leak. I got to take care of that. But it's an 8.8 rear end. It's 31 spline axles. They're strange axles, strange spool, C-clip eliminators. I want to get a girdle cover for it. Just haven't gotten around to it. It's got a set of Southside solid upper control arms on it, and it's got Southside lowers on it. When I got the bars, it didn't have the brackets with it, so I bought the brackets from, I think, UMI. Pretty sure it was UMI, I can't remember for sure. They make the brackets and everything for them, so, and new bushings come with it and everything, so you can basically rebuild them from their kit. It's got stock springs in it. I think they're cut a little bit. And then it's got 50/50 Lakewoods on it. Upper torque box mounts, I mean, you can see they're all good and solid. They're clean. They got a little bit of surface rust there, but there's nothing rotted at all. And the car's actually pretty solid. Same thing on the lower torque boxes. I mean, there's some surface rust there. I need to get cleaned up, get a little bit of paint on them, but they're really solid. They're all intact. They're not pulling away. And I've got a set of torque box reinforcements that I'm going to put in it. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I'm going to get those put in. I need to do that before I get it out and beating around on it too much, because I don't want to tear up a good set. The subframe connectors that are in it, they are, I forget who made them now, but back in the day, Southside made a set just like them, and they're the same as the Southside ones. They do bolt in instead of weld in, but they actually bolt in at the torque box. They bolt here, and then they wrap around to this side of the torque box, and they go up in and bolt in, and then they bolt in up through there. I can't remember, it's been a while. So I'm thinking what I'm probably gonna do is just kind of go along here and put a bead on it, just kind of run a weld around there and around this side and up. Just a little bit of extra insurance there. But supposedly they help support the torque box a little bit. And then I've got the drive shaft loop, just a bolt-in drive shaft loop. But the floors are real solid in it all the way through. My hack job, a piece of metal I put in to cover the hole when I put the automatic in it. Up in the front, the subframe connectors, they go up, they come all the way up to the K-member and bolt in. It's supposed to make it so it ties the rear torque boxes all the way up basically to the K-member. and supposed to support the car pretty well, I guess. But again, they're bolted in. I think what I'm going to do is along here where they meet up to the frame rail, I'm going to run a bead along there on each side, just to be safe with it. You can see it has UPR tubular control arms, and it has 9010 Lakewoods on it with a set of UPR coilovers. I think they're 14150 springs is what's on it right now. I think I am going to change those eventually. I'm just trying to figure out what springs I want to run or need to run. And it's got a UPR tubular K member. It's all mild steel. It's not chromoly or anything. Your starter all zip tied to it. It's got energy suspension, urethane motor mounts in it right now. I'm not a real big fan. I'd rather have solid mounts, so I think I'm going to end up changing those. And then it's got a Flaming River manual rack in it. Kind of hard to see, but it's all filthy dirty. I need to get under here and clean it while it's up in the air. I'm sure I'll probably do that since that's what I worry about the most. And then bottom side of the motor from here. And you can see, not the best view to look at frame or shock towers, but you can see, I mean, there's a little bit of surface there where, what was that? That's where the proportioning valve used to be bolted. So there's nothing there, but it's all solid, no rust on the shock towers. Passenger side, it's a little bit harder to see, but not the best view to look at those, but you can see they're all solid, no rust. So like I said, the car is actually much nicer underneath than it is up top, but eventually I'm going to get to the paint and the body, the interior. It's just not the most important thing to me right now. I want to get all the mechanicals right, and I want to get to the point to where I finally quit changing my mind on what transmission I'm going to run. So hopefully once we get the transmission in at this time, there's not going to be any more of the swapping back and forth between a 5-speed and automatic. I'll just kind of stick with what I got, and then we can move on to the next things. As far as, you know, the paint and body. Mechanic, I mean, I'm really not going to do a whole lot more to the car as far as motor, transmission, driveline, or anything like that. Like I said, I'll probably put solid motor mounts in it. I'd like to get the girdle for the rear end, and I would like to get a set of adjustable control arms and put on it. Kind of like to have an anti-roll bar, so yeah, you know how it goes. I say there's nothing more I'm going to do, but there's things I want to do. We'll get all this stuff eventually, but I do want to get on the paint and body here before too long. I mean, it's not the most important thing to me, but I would like for it to be halfway presentable. I'm going to block it out, make sure it's straight, and as far as paint, it's probably going to be a single stage paint. I don't know, I've even thought about just doing a Rust-Oleum job on it. Just to have it all one color so it's halfway decent. The interior, I'd like to, I don't know, I'm gonna pull everything out of it. Probably pull the heater box, the evaporator and everything out of it because I'm never gonna use that stuff. Clean the dash up and you know, carpet, I'll probably throw some carpet back in it. And I would like to have a set of race seats to put in it, and eventually I'd like to put a cage in it. So I mean, there are things like that I want to get done. So get the cage put in, get a set of race seats and some harnesses for it, and that'll be pretty much it. So, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up so I can get everything packaged up and get it ready for the trip. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and in the next one we'll get the 5-speed in, and hopefully we'll be out doing some street drives and some draggy passes, getting it ready to go to the track. So thank you.